From the U.S. Army, has a degree in engineering from Rutgers University. He's founded his own engineering company, has worked for Boeing Aerospace on a number of black projects, and I think has an awfully fascinating story to tell that I'm sure that we'll all enjoy today. Sorry I'm not better prepared, Eddie, on it, but I must say he's somewhat of an enigma to me, so I'm going to let you tell your own story from here. Okay. Thank you. Please welcome Eddie Melvin.
I want to thank everyone for taking the time out to come out here so I can share this information with you. Something about myself. I'm Eddie Melvin. I attended to Rutgers University for electronic engineering, and I did I was retired out of the Army, and after I retired I went to work for Boeing Seattle, aerospace company up there, and I had my own engineering company for a while. I've been involved with this all my life. My first abduction when I was 8 years old, and again dramatic one when I was 16 years old, and when I was in the military I had experience with this. I was also part of this retrieval team, which I will get a little bit into today. Not much, ain't too much I can, at this time I could not talk about, but I will talk about some of that. I'm also metaphysics, spiritual. I'm working on PhD now in metaphysics, but ufology and metaphysics, they work hand in hand. But today I'm just focusing on the UFO ufology part of it. I won't get into the metaphysics. I tie in with all of this. It's kind of complicated, sophisticated, understanding how it fits in with this ufologist and with us. And I moved here about a year ago, a little over a year ago now, from the Northwest, where there's a lot of activity going on in the Northwest right now. I'll talk a little about that. We moved down here. I've been to Texas before because when I was in the Army, I was stationed at Fort Hood down there, but my family they didn't think that they would like it. And my son and his family moved down here because of the job. And we helped them move down here, and when you get my age, you have arthritis. It's weather just right for that. And the wife and I hadn't felt that good in years, so I think we got to move down there. And so we came down here, and here we are. Okay. Today, what I'm going to talk about, UFOs, ETs, and us. Some of these slides, I kind of throw together. I have an outline edge on that. But I'm going to try and explain some of the things that you might have questions for. And the way I do this is, as you see on my next slide, was upside down, good. Okay, what I would talk about, these are the topics, the type of UFOs and craft, the different kind of extraterrestrials, some of those, where they came from, where do we think they came from, where the consensus are. I don't think nobody really knows, we have an idea. Where are they on the planet? That means where they are here, why we can see them sometimes. And genetic engineering, abductions, and the government role in all of this. And the last question and answer, then I'll finish up with the summary. Now each one of these topics here is a whole lecture itself, within itself. I'm going to just, and in fact I do have a lecture on each one of these. I'm just going to do the highlight on some of these. And if you got a question, if you can remember, write the number down or remember it in your head. When we get to the question and answer, then you can ask me the question that you have, because I like feedback. I like to hear what people have to say. I know what I got to say, but you have a question, and if I can answer those questions, I will. I mean, I know what I know. I don't know everything. I don't think no one is It's know all the answers to this thing. Right now, I consider myself a researcher. I'm doing a research in ufology, metaphysics, paranormal, spiritual, that type thing. I'm also a member of Joyce Murphy's team. She spoke to, you might know her, Beyond Boundary. We go, like I do with her sometimes different places. And I'll talk about a little bit about today. Right now, I'm highly involved in research trying to figure things out. One of what inspired me a lot, to answer a lot of questions, is from Cynthia Hines' book. Cause I think I bought every book she got, and really interesting. I mean, just reading the book and going back relating to it, it just answers a lot of questions that I had involved in this. And so if you hadn't bought her book, I mean, got a book from her, I'm not here to advertise the book, but what I'm saying is that it really is good. It answers a lot of questions. Okay. Well, let's get started with the types of UFOs. Okay, there are different types of UFOs and craft. You know, it's just so many. You have the cylinder type, which is the seagull type. You have the triangle, the half moon. You have the typical hamburger shape. You have the two saucers upside down on each other. It's just so many. And the craft down here is mostly the small craft that you see. Now they have what's called a mothership. You know, mothership is supposed to be the one that's further up. They can't supposedly come down here because it mess up our atmosphere. The way things been going lately, I think they're already down here with all this foul weather and everything going on now. In another week or so, this meteor shower, and it's just so many different types. Okay. Oh my goodness. Can you try the next one? I might have to change it. Okay, yeah, okay. That first picture you saw is was taken out in Brazil. This is a group ufologists, metaphysics people that we spoke to when I was with Joyce on Beyond Boundary in Brazil. And this is where I was presenting Danielle. He's one of the driving force behind that Chupacabra t-shirt. Now wherever we go, so we always try and present something to them. But anyway, down there, they talk about a lot about the cylinder type. And they talk about the hamburger type craft down there. That's most, I mean, they have different kinds, but that's what they mostly talk about. And so we'll get into that. Here, we went here, they have, I mean, people really into it down there. They had one place about the size of this room set up for us, and it wasn't big enough. They had to change rooms. They kicked some engineering students at the university, by the way. They kicked the engineering student out of a big place they had, and filled us with about 300 people in there. So they really into that. And so this is the beginning of the leg of the trip that we went. And they were very nice. They wanted to interact with their ufology counterparts in the north, and then they were really nice. Okay, this is some of the audience out there. I mean, you can see the expression on their face. They're really into it. I mean, they grabbing this stuff up. I mean, they had so many questions. And they also, when we go someplace, we like to see what they know. Now, they want to pick our brains, and we want to pick their brains, what they know. And they have some fascinating stories to tell what's going on down there, which I will talk about a little bit about tonight. And where they're from Sao Paulo. And this is the city. Which is located in the Sao Paulo state, and they have, I mean, the UFO. You don't have to be in the desert to see these. You can see them in anywhere in the city. A lot of people think you have to be out in the wilderness, but you don't. And where they mostly like to hang out at, based on what I found out and what I know, is that they love to hang around airports in the city because they can disguise themselves with an airplane. And everyone in this room probably seen one, thought it was an airplane. But I will give you a little short tip how you can distinguish one from an airplane. Usually, if you see an airplane high up, the light is blinking, you know, like it's coming in for a landing, like around this area, you usually see them coming into Love Field or Dallas-Fort Worth, one of the other airports, they got the main lights on. But they have their lights on. It might be green, it might be red, just stays there. It don't move. And something else too, the GPS satellite that we have located in different parts of the sky, which a lot of people think they see UFOs and they don't. And they also can disguise themselves that way, because sometimes you can take your binocular, look at these light blanket. And if you look at this every night, they normally in the same place. You take the time when you view these, and you'll see the light. But if you see one in an odd place, usually it's not there. You know, usually it's not GPS a satellite. And those satellites, they put up a few. They start putting those satellites up before I even retired out of the military. If you can remember, a few years back, they had a lot of. They would send the space shuttle up after the military. They were putting these things in place up there. And they are so spotted out around the world. They just, you know, in grids. And they're used for many different things, for navigation, for just about anything you can imagine. Okay, that's what they're used for, communication, and for military and commercial use, and they're used for space research, and they're used also for this high frontier use. How many people know about high frontier? Okay, high frontier, before I retired, they tried to recruit me for this. High frontier has to do with detecting things coming in from outer space. Okay, like you have your site command. Okay, your site command take care of everything from about 100 miles up, from the ground to about 100 miles up. But once it passes 100 miles up, then you got what you call high frontier. This is like where your Hubble telescope comes in. That telescope is more than just to look at stars. That telescope is also to detect incoming objects, incoming UFOs, and they got many different channels. And they also serve like a radar, and they could detect the object the size of a football 10,000 miles up before you even get here. Around the world, they know this. This is what happened in Brazil, when like a few years ago, when this craft crashed with those monsters, those little creatures down there, monsters. What happened was the high frontier picked these things up, and what part of the world it's coming from. Our government would notify that government that, hey, listen, it's coming in your area, and so they will go on alert. They'll get their people together, and then they will get on alert, just like down in Brazil when the fire department got out there. The Army was there shortly afterward. And so that's what happened there, because they are tied in with this around the world. There's a world network of these people around the world. And we used to, years ago, they used to fly people from the United States to the crash area from where it would crash. But they don't do that now. They got it in place already. This is, we were down in Puerto Rico here on this expedition. What we were down here is that they would report, well, I don't have a slide of it, but I got one I have here. On the other side, there was a lake. And we were checking for the chupacabra, because there had been a lot of people spotted the chupacabra in that area. In this lake, the lagoon in Puerto Rico, a lot of people might be aware of this. But a few years back, what happened was the government put up a fence, a picket fence around the area, and they bought the land from the farmers. And the people that lived there, they used to come up on a mountain on Saturday night. They used to be there, you know, that used to be their part-time way they pass the time to watch the craft coming in and out of the lake there. And that's not only down there, other parts of the world, even here in the United States, which I will tell you a little about later, that they do the same thing. So this is the team who down beating the bush in the jungle down in Puerto Rico trying to find the chupacabra. We saw evidence when he was there, and we talked to a lot of the people that had seen him, had contact with him, but we never see one on this particular ourselves. I have seen the chupacabra, but in another part of the world in Panama, which I'll talk a little about that also. Okay, UFOs again. This picture here, this is a computer edge enhancement that I took off a video. When I lived in Washington State, I was running underground cable to one of the outbuildings where I had my shop at. And so about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, something in my voice said, look up. So I looked up, there were these two real dark objects like a frisbee. If you look at a frisbee, hold a frisbee up like that, it was about the size of a frisbee. So I saw those two things moving, going east. And my goodness, that looked like some UFOs. And I looked behind there. There was this cylinder type object right behind these two frisbee-like objects. And it was like it was kind of cylinder type. It had a little dome-like thing right here up here. And what I did, I said, my goodness, I ran down to my studio where I do my production. I have a video production. I also do that. And then